Good evening. Happy Friday evening. We have some juicy information from Allie Carter. Everyone should be familiar with her by now. She is one of the victims. She speaks out. She has had um, plenty of videos speaking out about being sex trafficked by Sean Combs, and she has filed in court, and the court documents is on this screen. Denzel Washington, Sean Combs, Birdman, and another guy. Yes, she has papers in court uh-huh, against them for sex trafficking, sexual assaults. It's right here on black and white. I'm going to give you all some more time to come in. And she just did this recording 3 hours ago. She's talking about the LA fires. She's talking about the tunnels. And she's talking about evidence and missing children. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am going to go ahead and get started. Happy Friday. Yes, Allie Carter is giving us more information. She has filed a lawsuit, and the people in that lawsuit is Denzel Washington, Allie Carter. She is filing, hi everyone. Yes, she is filing a lawsuit against Denzel Washington, Sean Combs, Birdman, and another guy. I'm going to show you the lawsuit on the screen in a few minutes. I want a few more of you all to um, come in. So everybody's familiar with the young lady, Allie Carter. Yes, she was sex trafficked. hmm So we want to go ahead and get started. Hello, the Slay Never. Hello. Hi. And Ollie. Hi. OXN, hello. Thanks for joining. And y'all feel free to chat because this case is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. This is a organized crime. So it's going to be so many people added to this list. Okay. Um it's just that P. Diddy, Puffy, as I call him, because he and I is the same age. All those other names that he made up through the years, no, he's Puffy. Mm-hmm. Luigi, hi. Bella and Nova, hi. Happy Friday evening. Thanks for joining. And yes, Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. Y'all know he went and got baptized. It didn't do him no good. It didn't do him any good because the Almighty Creator of heaven, earth, and sea, and all that therein is, the Almighty Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he is not a religion. So Denzel Washington wasted his time. The Most High is going to make his ass pay for what he has done. See, you don't play with the devil and then want to when it's time to pay up, you want to run. No, that's not how the Most High get down. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna turn the camera so y'all can see. So y'all can see Allie Carter. Let me move this. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back. Oh, here we go.
Wasn't an accident. How many things does it take? If people can get in the streets over a convict, why the hell can't people get in the streets over the children? What is going to fuel your rage for the children? Why are you waiting on a release to fuel your rage? People should be like, what the? We're talking about kids? Huh? What? No! Somebody better answer something! How many more kids do you need? How many more need to be swept under the rug? How many more need to be silenced for you to say, oh, enough? It's all of our war. What are you going to do to fight?
There's the names: Brian Christopher Williams, also known as Birdman, Denzel Hayes Washington Jr., Sean Combs, and Giselle. Look, there it is. There it is.
There are underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place.
Let's go back. Let's go back and see that list
They
again.
exist everywhere. It wasn't an accident. How many things does it take? If people can get in the streets over a convict, why the hell?
When you got black and white, you can't fight.
Going to fuel your rage for the children. Why are you waiting on a release to fuel your rage? People should be like, what the? We're talking about kids? Huh? What? No! Somebody better answer something! How many more kids do you need? How many more need to be swept under the rug? How many more need to be silenced for you to say, oh, enough? It's all of our war. What are you going to do to fight?
There it is. Giselle Amon Robertson, young jock. What, Negro? Yep, here's the court filings. Los Angeles.
There are underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place. Um, they exist everywhere.
You've been in.
I'm sorry.
You've seen
Yes.
these, been in these.
Yes.
Where do
Yes,
they lead?
they lead to amusement parks. They lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes, um, psychic shops. Uh, they lead everywhere.
You mentioned in one of your previous interviews that it's like a whole other world down there. Can you
Yes.
describe it to us? What happens down there?
Yes, there's every means of transportation. There's every walk of life. There's cities. There's different air supply. There's at 15, my pimp put me on an order to go to the Getty, Los Angeles, California Museum. I was told I was going to walk through a field trip. I was taken with another girl. I call a friend of mine.
Thanks for the likes.
We were put in dresses and sandals. We were taken in a sports car. We
we're not taken in a sports car. We pulled up to the museum in a sports car. We were told that we were trying to give a different appearance. So we were walking through, I remember walking through kids. I remember walking in and seeing school buses. I remember walking in and seeing children and chaperones through the museum. And I remember people staring at us as if as if we were somebody special. We walked through the museum. There are, employees that know exactly what's going on in the museum. They block the doors. They know where the entrances and exits are. They take their orders from someone else when someone is trying to get underground through the Getty Los Angeles Museum. I was walked through. I remember taking stairs, going through a garden, taking an elevator. I was drugged, but I was walking. There are many situations in trafficking where you can be alert. Some of my pimps did not let me see where I was going. Sometimes I was so drugged that I was carried into a job, dressed, and then placed in a room and waiting for my order because I couldn't move myself. So at this time, I was able
That's
to walk. I was
awful.
able to see what was going on. And I remember walking through. I remember talking to certain people after we got so far. I remember my ears popping. I remember feeling like I'm choking because the air was so weird. We got to a certain point and there was, it looked like a basement. It looked like where they keep things that were not public display in the museum. And after getting so far, we were in tunnels. We were put on cars, drove to a certain point, bar. I seen um, I seen cars, boats. There's trains, there's buses. There is every means of transportation under the ground. Um, there's a city under the ground. There are there's a different air supply that kicks in after you get so low. Um,
And who goes down there?
I was after getting down there. I talked to a few people. I was able to meet celebrities, actors. I'm not a person that knows somebody just by name or by face or right away. I was somebody who remembered somebody from a movie or something like that or something that they did. I was able to speak with somebody that was so cocky. And I remember telling him, I know you from Look Who's Talking. That's all. And I remember everybody laughing at me because I was 15 and I'm like, the only thing that I know you from, John Travolta, is Look Who's Talking. I know there were many comedians, Kathy Griffin, Robin Williams. I was on an order for Joe Biden.
Ooh.
I was taken to somewhere where there were there was an orgy party. There was a contest going on. There's a certain part that has a shrine where I was taken, and what I mean by shrine is it was bones. It was things that have happened to other people. They take shrines. They take like a trophy, whether it was a ripped shirt, panties, hands, pieces of flesh. There's a smell. that you can't even flinch towards down there. You will. Um, there's certain people that you don't talk about because you just don't. Um, there were certain people that I seen down there from Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You don't tell on P. Diddy, but P. Diddy. Um,
So you said you don't tell on these people. Is that like a code that all victims adhere to? They don't talk about this stuff.
yes, you don't, because nobody's gonna believe you. You're nothing to them. You don't. You don't count. You're just a toy. Um, you're not essential, as they call them. You're expendable. And as a child in that situation, I wasn't the type of person that was fighting all the time, because I started to learn who I was. I started to learn my pimp. I started to learn what I was in. I started to learn that you don't fight. You um, you watch what you say, you watch what you do. And at some point, I stopped fighting people. And I started to accept the fact of what I was told, that I was special enough to be with this person. I was special enough to be in the eyes of a celebrity or somebody who's on the radio or on TV. And I accepted that. Um, I, I was, while I was down there was something that happened. There was I don't even know what to call it. There was something that sounded like an earthquake, something that sounded like people got into a fight. Um, there was a shooting. Um, I was taken from one room to another, and then from there, someone left me there. I started moving and trying to get out of where I was. I was with the friend that I came in with, who was freaking out. She was hyperventilating. She was crying. She was trying everything to get out, and it made us get deeper in. Um, the lower you go, the harder it is to get out. No one knows where the doors are. No one knows where the exits are. No one knows where some of these tunnels lead to. So it's not as easy to just say, I'm just going to get out, or I'm just going to try to find a way out. If you are walked in, you're escorted in, somebody has to help you get out. After what happened, we had to leave. Again, I don't know what was going on. I'm still not sure what happened that night. Um, there's a baby farm that exists. Um,
Mm.
there's all ages. There's kids who don't act like kids. They act like wild animals. Um, they hiss at you. They 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 act like wild animals. They've never. I know some of them have been there since probably birth or before.
Wow.
There's children of all ages. There's people who have been there since they were babies, but they're adults now.
And how long do they stay there? Till what age?
I don't know. Till whatever happens to them happens, and whatever their time is. There's baby farms that exist underground. Your hospitals are complicit in giving babies to baby farms. And when I say, I'm talking newborn babies fresh out of the hospital. I've seen a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of my friends die. There's so much that goes on. There's so much that goes on.
And it's not. So these particular things that you're talking about now, these extreme, horrific acts, this is reserved for the elites. Is that correct?
Yes. Um, they get away with eating, beating, torturing, buying children from many places, and it also feeds their career. Selling your soul doesn't necessarily mean selling your soul for money. It means selling out for things that you're willing to do, um, a dedication to what they call their God. Then people compete with that. Everybody is competing with that, um, trying to do something equal or worse.
Mm.
Are they open about who their God is?
Sometimes, yeah, some people act as if they're Christian or other religions that we all know of, but and I was buried alive. I was saved and told that I had to give my life to them because they saved me. Um, they're it's in everybody's face. It's something that happens every day.
So a few people were asking, or someone was asking whether all of this took place in America, but from what I understand, you've also been to Buckingham Palace. Is that correct?
Yes. In my time with CBS, I was taken over borders. I was taken out of the country. That should have been a problem. That should have been an FBI problem, but it wasn't. I was taken for jobs.
They was in on it.
Over the weekend, for a few days at a time. Sure. When I was taken to Buckingham Palace, I was drugged. I was told where I was going. I was told that I would be out for transport. I was told wasn't told that it was an auction. My pimp kept telling me that I was coming home. I thought at 15 I was married to him. I had very expensive wedding rings, and I was, accepting what was happening, and not fighting it. And I thought we were married. I was trying to make sure that I stayed with him and not, he didn't sell me, like he did his other girls. So I went into an auction there, and auctions are not what people think they are. Auctions are, sometimes you're standing or tied up or having to lay down naked. Some people are allowed to take samples, which means they're allowed to touch you. They're allowed to, but I was taken to many auctions. I was.
Every auction is different, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Right.
And I was tied to tables. I was treated like an animal. So
you mentioned that you had this attachment to the pimp. Is this something that happens to a lot of victims? They form an attachment to these people?
Yeah. Yes, you do. You're promised so many things. You're persuaded in ways that you need, something that you're missing. People, look at things like, oh, at 15, at 16, you're a troubled teen, but usually there's symptoms to a real problem by the time that you're a teenager. And acting out just doesn't mean that you're doing things because your parents said no or something you don't agree with all the time. I was in foster care. I traveled with a trash bag. I was always somebody's toy. I was always somebody's punching bag. I was always somebody's satisfaction for something they needed, their selfish reasons. Um, I felt seen. I felt cared about. And sometimes it takes just a little bit for you to attach to someone, and being scared. And how many times would it take for you to be abused by someone? How many times would it take for you to learn how angry and evil they can get? Um, for you to stop fighting, for you to stop. Um, if you can't get out of the situation, your survival instincts kick in, um, and they do things that will make you agree with whatever they're trying to get you into. Um,
So then, well, actually, before we go back to Buckingham Palace, you mentioned to me the first time that we spoke that there are a lot of victims who are upset with you because you're speaking out, who may even still be involved in this. Is this because they feel like they are actually special, protected by these people, and they don't want that exposed? They actually want that to continue?
yes, they feel like they're working. They're told that they're, um, if you pay somebody, if you give someone something, then they will give you something in return. So that means that if you've never had a home, they'll give you a home. If you wanted to be on your own and be able to have your own car, or be able to do the things that you need to be able to do, they promise you that if you just do A, B, C, or D, then you can have all of that. And then once you do A, then it gets way deeper before you get to B. Um,
Mm, mm, mm.
Right,
yeah.
right. So, so Buckingham Palace, you said that there was an auction there. Were there again elites present at that auction? Were there regular people? Who goes there?
Military, um, all kinds of people, military, judges, uh, elites. Um,
That's why they didn't have no one to go
international
to.
orders. People will fly into these auctions to pick up someone from other countries to take them back to their country. Um, it's legal. Uh, Trafficking is legal in other countries. You can marry a 6-year-old to a 50-year-old. That's legal. There's
Wow.
sex tourism that's legal. Um, but sometimes they want what they call different products. So um, they will travel and invest.
How do they communicate? How do they communicate with one another, Ali? How does one of these sick people
Very
say
sick.
to a pimp, "I want this"? Is there do they have secret communication channels?
They do, but there's things that are out there like Craigslist, everyday sites, online sites that are hidden in plain sight. Messages are hidden in plain sight. If you go onto Craigslist right now, you would be able to find um, people who are offering jobs that are undercover to be able to pick up products, which are people. Um, I know everybody has heard of the Wayfair scandal. Um, that's real. There are many ways that they can communicate to be able to uh, sell and trade.
This is really
Um,
awful.
you are passing a trafficker, you're watching one, you are looking at one every day. Your sports, your elite, your doctors, your attorneys, your judges, your lawyers, just because, everybody wants to just look at the elite and go up to the top. But that's not it. And, I've been abused by a lot of people in elite places, but that's nothing compared to what has happened with the people in low places and the people in the middle, your everyday trash man, your everyday
Mm.
social worker, your everyday teacher.
Mm.
There's a trafficker that's around you every day, no matter where you are. People just don't realize that. They always want to go straight to the top because they don't want to look at the things that are local and around them. And this is not just you're not just looking for the scariest person that you can think of that looks like they're going to eat you. Um, that's your that's the TV mentality and the narrative that people want you to see as in human trafficking, that you're going to be looking for this big and scary person, and it's not. Um, in trafficking, it's not just about sex, it's not just about a bad job gone wrong. They you can sell drugs, drug trafficking, you can sell drugs and get a shipment of drugs once or twice and then still have to try to find that shipment again and may not be able to get it. But a human you can sell over and over and over again until there is literally nothing left. And this is what they do. Organ harvesting is real. Um, there's the joke of you can go somewhere and you can get a heart cheaper than you can at the hospital. The hospital prices to get a kidney transplant are insane. And sometimes they're given to people because they put them in a ranking because the hospitals are complicit and people wonder where that stuff comes from, and it comes from victims. Then they're going to say, hey, I can make so much money with this one if I can get a shipment of 3 more. They have to go out and they have to be able to get them all together if they want to sell them all together to the traffickers who place them somewhere or who are able to do the transportation or who are making those deals, the major deals. Then if a pimp was supposed to get them to another trafficker, it's not just right. So many things can happen in a matter of seconds, but you don't usually go straight into jobs. If someone grabs you, if you meet a pimp on the street, if you meet someone online, you don't just straight out say, okay, I'm going straight to elite escorting. No, that's not the way it works. It depends on if you're a virgin or not. It depends on who you are. It depends on who's looking for you. Uh, it depends on what they need, and it depends on how angry they get.
Feel free to donate to the
It's an
channel.
extreme process. It's crazy. It's an industry. They're built into the perfect slave. You cannot have someone right off the street crying and losing their mind over a small job and go into an elite job, and it happens that way unless it's a job where they want you crying and screaming. That's not going to work out. So yeah, it's a process.
You've got lots of people that doubt your story, Ali, you and many others that speak about these topics. What do you say to those people? Because you've shared with me that you've actually had to be on the run essentially for several months now. What do you say to those people?
It's up to you to do something. It's the burden of responsibility, and there's the burden and the responsibility of proof is on who's listening. When you make a call to Child Protective Services and you say, hey, I hear someone possibly abusing a kid. I don't know what's going on, but I need you to investigate that. The burden of proof then relies on that person that they called. I don't need anyone to do anything for me or believe me. It's not just happening to just me. It didn't just happen to just me. It happens every day. It happens all over the world. I know so many people that are sitting here can probably tell you that they only know a handful of people in their life that have not been abused, molested, in some type of horrific situation that they've had to get out of. Crimes against humanity is not a religious, gender, any type of other issue that anybody wants to point to. It's a humanity issue.
Okay, thank y'all for watching. We're going to stop it there. Y'all can continue to watch this. And I'm going to give a shout out to Tez Moses. That's who did this interview. And this is Miss Allie Carter. She has been speaking out now for a very long time. And I'm sure that a lot of you all are familiar with her name. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching.